Okay, so today I would like to see our slides. It's coming out. Today we have our panel with representatives from VBOs, Vienna-based organizations. So before starting our day, and big discussion on AI, we would like to see what is happening around, what our organizations doing in this area. So we have representatives from IAA, we have representatives from UNIDO, from CTBTO, and Georg also part of our discussion. And this is when we will start, just quickly look around, take a break, and see what is happening in another area. So, as you already know, we have Georg Langs on our panel. We have Alexander Sudakov, senior software engineer, infrastructure engineer from IDC Office of Directors, CTBTO. We have Alexandra Veryuta, digitalization and analyst officer from UNIDO. We have Rina Ahmed. She's IT innovation lead from Department of Management Information Technology Division from IAA. And I will be moderating this event, and also I will present a few slides about what we're doing in CTBTO. So my name is Yaroslav Penda, and I'm data pipeline engineer working in IDC at CTBTO. You know, for many years, this is a slide about me, but for many years I was working with data, and data became a kind of passion for me in many different organizations. And when we start preparation for SNT, I said, well, let's take a look what was happening in the past. And we try to analyze the abstracts for the past 3 conferences, SNT, like in 2021, 23, and 25. And see what people were writing about. Specifically, what was my interest, it's about AI. Because, as I said, I like data, so it's not only the event what we're creating today, I would like to have some kind of data which is proving that importance. So we did this analysis using AI. Because technically we didn't have much time, and I calculated if I would read at least one abstract in 5 minutes, I will need to spend more than 29 days to read all these 3 conferences. So it was a bit too much. So we use AI to analyze it, and all these results, what you see, it's actually analysis from AI. So that's kind of first case use where you see how we can apply these technologies. But immediately we see the limitations, and specifically we saw the limitation in data and data accuracy. We tried different algorithms, we tried different approaches, and they all were coming to one source of data. So it also was not only the exciting moment, but it was the process which we learned lots of things while we were applying this technology. Another area, it's, I don't know, many of you know Secure Web Portal. It's our online resource with lots of useful information for our network. So what we try to do, we try to implement advanced search. I don't want to say chatbot because it's not really a chatbot. It's advanced search based on our documents, which are hosted in SWP. And we try different, actually, experiments, different platforms. We try on prem solutions, and also we try doing the prototype on cloud solution. We use LangFlow, FlowWise, LightRack technologies and tools to produce that advanced search. And if you would like to hear about these technologies more, I really invite you today at 15:15 to the talk of my colleague Evangelos, who will go in deep discussion on this topic. And also, if you want to hear about more about cloud technologies, that would be the poster on Friday from my colleague Marco. But at least, yes, we are trying to build some kind of prototype and see how we can use AI for advanced search. Very recent, it was like really like few weeks before the conference, we built end-to-end testing solution for one of our applications, specifically for SWP, just to validate and make sure the system is stable, can it handle a load. And while we were developing this testing solution and regression tool, we realized we can use also AI. We can use AI to build test cases or to use AI for algorithms which will enhance the testing processes. So this is another example, maybe not very typical example where AI could be applied, but that area is really new for us, and we're exploring technically as we speak. And the last slide what I have, it's on Elasticsearch. We're using Elasticsearch for observability already more than 2 years at CTBTO. We're also applying Elastic for advanced data access in organization. But right now, what we're planning to do, we're planning to use AI in the future for log analysis and find any anomalies in our systems. Because some of them, they're producing more logs than data. And to monitor manually all this amount of data is very difficult. So perhaps in the future, it's not done yet, but this is where we're going, and we are thinking about using AI with Elasticsearch. Perhaps it could be monitor of security logs, it could be monitoring of application logs, but this area is potentially has big interest in our organization. So this is quick overview from what we did doing and we are planning to do, and at least in some small area of CTBTO. Of course, Alexander will cover a little bit more what we're doing, but right now I would like to pass the floor to Alexandra, and Alexandra, she is from UNIDO, and welcome.
Good morning, Yaroslav. It's a pleasure to be here, and good morning, everyone. My name is Alexandra Varyuta, and I serve as Digitalization Analytics Officer at United Nations Industrial Development Organization. We are a UN specialized agency with a mandate to promote and accelerate inclusive and sustainable industrial development. UNIDO supports 173 member states and helps countries to end hunger, advance clean energy, and build sustainable and fair supply chains. And in this mission, me and my team, we work actually behind the scenes in Digital Innovation and IT Services Division. We may not be in the field, but we enable our organization to work smarter by implementation of innovative digital solutions, including artificial intelligence. And today, with the speed of light, I will walk you through our journey of adopting generative AI. So our work is focused around 4 streams, and 3 streams, they're related to the application of generative AI into our daily operations. And the last stream is about people, is about building capacity and ecosystem around it. Let's start with the first stream, and it is about information discovery and knowledge management. So here we have the product which is called Insight, and this is not a mistypo, this is on purpose. So this is our internal development, similar to Yaroslav, what you have, it is AI-powered search. We went live with this product this year in 2025, and Insight now serves to more than 2,000 employees and helps them in their daily work. So this is our generative AI-powered knowledge base, and the purpose of the Insight is quite simple. It enables staff to ask questions in the natural language and get precise answers that are linked directly to source documents. So right now it covers two types of content: organizational rules and regulations that governs different subject areas like finance, procurement, human resources. And another content is more programmatic. It's evaluation reports from past projects and more like thematic and country evaluation reports. So now staff can easily go and check various rules on finance and HR, and project team can consult lessons learned and findings from past evaluation when they design a new projects. The next one is around strategic programming, and it's called Project Lens. So Project Lens was born from a very practical challenge that we have in UNIDO. At UNIDO, we manage hundreds of diverse projects, and quite often we want to look at our portfolio through a new lens. For example, which projects have entrepreneurship components, or what projects have digitalization components, which projects contribute to climate action. And quite often these requests, they're ad hoc, and if you ever developed a system, you know how big is the development cycle. So what we did, we turned this into a hackathon challenge. We partnered together with University of Vienna of Economics and Business, and we asked students, can generative AI help us to solve this challenge, help us to analyze and classify our portfolio in an efficient and systematical way. And prototype created there evolved to now what is known as Project Lens. So this is the tool that applies generative AI to summarize project documents, classify them across various dimensions, and enable very efficient and flexible way of looking at our portfolio. The next stream of the applied Gen AI is automation of the back office operations. So although our core processes like HR, finance, procurement, project management, as such, they are already digitized, but there are still a lot of steps in these processes that heavily rely on human intervention, review of the documents, extracting the information, and making certain decisions. And this is actually exactly such use cases where generative AI can add value. So, for example, when we design a project, each project should go through multiple compliance checks, and each of these compliance checks, they governed by its own set of rules and regulations. So what we did, we approached it systematically. Last year, we organized multiple workshops with our business counterparts to brainstorm and identify such use cases. Then we prioritized them, and from this exercise, basically, we developed several proof of concepts. Not all of them were successful due to the fact that there is a challenge when you're an early adopter of the technology, of such a rapid technology that evolves so quickly. Some of the use cases, they will become obsolete, but a lot of lessons learned. Some of the proof of concepts, they were repositioned. And for example, internally in IT, we introduced coding assistants, and what we saw that junior developers were able to learn new frameworks that they were unfamiliar with rather quickly, and in 2 months they were able to develop production-ready products. So the next one is about capacity building an ecosystem. So I think that you cannot just implement an AI tool and hope that the adoption rate will be successful. So it requires awareness, it requires constant, like a solid communication plan, training. We also try to engage the next generation. So from I would say that our hackathon experience was rather successful, and it showcased us how youth, how fresh ideas and outside perspective can bring new solutions. Internally, we also organize AI Champions network. So this is like an internal community where people can share their experience and learn from each other how they use AI tool in their daily work. And so a bit of reflection. So, and I think that, yeah, like with any AI tool, data is the key, but not only data. When it comes to generative AI, particularly because we are looking at the processes that used to rely on like human expertise, and usually those processes, they're not documented. So you have to do a lot of groundwork in terms of the documentation, business analysis. Subject matter experts, they will always be the key. They have the main knowledge. AI brings opportunities. Educate and collaborate. It's never-ending experience of learning, and you have to evolve continuously. So AI, it's like a implementation. I would say it's like a sprint, but some things are the marathon. So it's like mixture of quick wins and long-term bets, and you have to be prepared to quickly iterate and adapt.
Thank you, Alexandra. And now we will move to our colleague from IAA, Rina Ahmed. She's innovation lead at the agency. In the past, Rina was working at Microsoft, where she was promoting lots of projects related to AI. And now we have her here on our panel. And Rina, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Can I have the clicker? Okay, so good morning, everyone. We've already heard very exciting contributions from the different organizations. So today I would like to talk to you about the different initiatives in the area of AI that we are doing at IAA. I am IT Innovation Lead in the Department of Management Division of Information Technology. So I will be speaking about also specifically for the Division of Information Technology, what does this opportunity that AI promises mean for us, and how do we best support all the programmatic needs in the organization that want to leverage all this value and impact that AI can offer to us. And so we wanted to ensure that we can leverage AI the best possible way, but also do this in a responsible way and in compliance with our best practice and high levels of quality. And so I would like to also present to you several initiatives that we put in place for the organization. The first thing, you see this on the screenshot, is an AI portal that we created for staff to access. This is basically a one-stop shop that is that has all kinds of news and information related to the use of artificial intelligence, and that we want to disseminate and offer to staff at their disposal. So one key section is, for example, the news section, where anything, if we have updates, if we have new tools that can be used, new use cases, or changes in our guidelines or so, we can put them in the news sections, and staff can remain up to date what is going on in the organizations in this area. Another point that you can find, and you will see that all these initiatives are interconnected and linked together. So on the AI portal, you will also find guidelines that we published for staff. These guidelines support staff to use AI in a responsible way, to ensure that we use our best practices regarding authorship, regarding transparency, that we keep in line, are mindful of sensitive internal data or confidential, personal related data, that we keep in line with all of our set practices. Another big section that we have is because we find AI has so much potential, but the knowledge within staff, in the staff varies, we have a huge section on learning and resources. This contains a combination of different resources that we have. So we do add information here that comes from external providers, that could be libraries, that could be websites from external AI tools that we cleared and promote internally for use for our work purposes, but it also contains courses or webinars that we ourselves create and disseminate among staff or offer it to staff, as well as opportunities from providers of learning materials and learning courses that staff can also leverage. On the AI portal, what we also promote is a set of AI tools as well as business cases. So what does this mean? We are in a time where there are so many AI tools for so many different use cases. And of course, staff want to leverage different AI tools for different use cases. But we don't necessarily know what implications are there if you use certain AI tools. What does this mean for our data? And staff cannot always know or have the expertise to assess from the different perspectives. So we offer, we support the organization by having established an AI intake process so that staff can reach out and they can either tell us a business need that they have or mention a specific AI tool or an AI feature in a software that they're using, whether they can use that software. And so what we do, we internally align with our different divisions and units, be it our chief security officer, be it with our data privacy officer or with our legal team, to assess the tools on the various aspects and see if it is in line and in compliant with our practices, so that when we come back with a response to the staff, they are confident that they are using a tool that fulfills our rules and regulations. And if we find that it doesn't, that is not the case, then we come with suggestions, with alternative suggestions that can satisfy the same use case. So you can find that information also in the AI portal, be it by business use cases. You find your business use case and see what kind of AI tools are recommended and how would you go about to use that AI tool for that particular business case, or what kind of AI tools have already been listed as a recommendation for staff to use for certain use cases. And lastly, what we also establish, as you can see, there are already different kinds of initiatives in place, but there may be questions that are not answered by any of our resources. So we do have an AI contact point, and we encourage staff, any AI-related questions you have and you do not know how to go about it, they can send it to the AI contact point, and we will internally align with the experts pertaining to that question to make sure we can support in the best possible way. And like Alexandra mentioned, also in the AI, we have created an AI community of practice where we also encourage AI champions to share the best cases, but not just AI champions, any staff members, if they have successfully used an AI tool, to leverage and share that knowledge with others. And so these are some generic initiatives that we take to support the organization. I would like to also highlight one specific project. Georg already introduced a big AI initiative we do with the Zodiac project. So I would like to talk about a different project also in the area of science. This is from the Department of Nuclear Applications in the area of food and agriculture. We work together with the Food Safety and Control Lab that works in the area of food authentication, food origin determination to ensure that food has not been adulterated and is safe to use. And they came to us because they wanted to use machine learning, leverage machine learning in the work that they usually do, and they wanted a tool. They already use spectroscopy data and perform statistical analysis, but they wanted to evaluate the potential of machine learning. And in order to recommend them a certain tool, we said we will start with a specific scenario and see how does it compare versus their statistical method. And when we have that scenario and seen that machine learning can prove a good potential, then we can go out and analyze different platforms to this technique. And so this was the study that we chose, which was basically a study to it was a study for geographical discrimination of POS and rice culture that is in Myanmar. So rice culture from 2 areas of Myanmar have been sampled, and near-infrared spectroscopy tools have been performed, extracted data, and then we use that machine learning approach to identify from which of the 2 region the rice sample has been taken. And so because I'm running out of time, I would just like to say the conclusion was that machine learning can provide good potential, and the next step was that we performed a comparison analysis of different platforms, and this was presented to the researchers on the field from the Caribbean area, so they can also leverage these results and employ them when they do food authentication. And with this, thank you very much.
Thank you, Rina. And now we will go to our next speaker, is Alexander Sudakov. Alexander from CTBTO, from IDC, Office of Director. Alexander.
Good morning to everyone. We're already discussing about AI like 35 minutes, and we will continue. And definitely on the next presentation, even you have more information about history of AI. For our organization, even we talk about that last many years, but actually we focus on it when the couple colleagues came from an organization with the new energy, with new thinking, and we start focusing on it. And also we have a good support from management, and also we're lucky because for other projects we did have already in place few GPU machines, which we use it for other projects, and for us it's a good start point. As I'm sure as many organizations, we started with creating some chat, which help us. Why do we need this? First, because we have plenty of projects, we have a lot of data, and it's always lack of time and people. And we try to use AI, how it could help us to reduce time which we spend on analyzing data, clean data, how we can reduce the time which we use and focus on other projects, which is why we created CTBTO.org. Actually, there is a couple systems. One of the system is locally installed on premises. We're using the Tesla processors for this. It's more for the testing, and also one of the project is using the cloud Azure solutions. As soon as we play a bit, we understand it's achievable. It's like low-hanging fruits. We're starting thinking how we can create and build the code, and we're starting using Flowwise. As soon as we created some code application, we're starting thinking how we're going to observe what is created. We're starting using like Fuse for this. As soon as we have some information, we're starting thinking how to keep this knowledge, how to involve more people, how to provide the training, and maybe we can use AI for multilingual training. For this, we're exploring options using Moodle Workspace with AI plugins. Of course, it's not always some of the data information is very complex, and for this we need a deep research assistance, and we have some also experience and try to understand what we can achieve from this. Again, all what I'm talking, it's more about exploration and development. Yeah, we're trying to understand what's fit for the purpose, what we can use it, and what help us to be more efficient and valuable. And next area where we try to see what we can do, it's software development, because IDC do a lot of development, and we have millions source code of lines of source code. It's most of them legacy, and some of them new, and to maintain its efforts. And we're thinking how we can check the code, create automatic testing, how to integrate it with GitLab, and some of the examples already demonstrated by Yaroslav just a few minutes ago. When we try to use AI for the testing for GUI applications, because this kind of testing is quite complex. And having the experience with this, we're already starting thinking end-to-end LLM engineering platforms, and already see some potentials on it. And for other projects, we created also LLM backgrounds where we can test different models, and as you know, this area is developing very fast. You remember what last year, for example, Cursor maybe it was the best platform for development. Now it's not anymore. We don't know what's going to be tomorrow, which is why we need to always get new information, new tools, and try to see if we can use it. Sorry. After having spent a couple years working and focus on AI, actually we don't have much team, it's just several people, but very dedicated, enthusiastic. We found there is plenty of type of CI. It could be internally developed, it could be open source based, it could be built on properly tools, cloud-based, off-shell, and others which contain hybrid. And this is a list created for today. We don't know, maybe in few weeks it will be a different list and contain much more options. When we start doing AI, I think it's important when you start doing AI, try to find the case and which you can use as low-hanging fruits, because it helps you to be more confident what you can continue, because AI, it's not a silver bullet. For AI, you need to spend time and resources. It's like, I would say, it's AI life cycle as any other project, which start from the plan, design, development till the decommissioning. And you should remember about that, because when you start the project, you have to keep this. Sometimes I'm talking, when I use my terminology, we should reduce number of animals in the zoo, because any new project, any new AI tool which you bring on, you have to keep an eye on it, you have to maintain this. And it's not so easy, because still people are stuff behind this, yeah? And when we try to implement the system, we always see what the approach should be secure. I'm call it safe approach. I already mentioned, because the system and process must be ensure confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information. We spend significant amount of time, and Yaroslav already explained about that, to have a clean data, because without have clean data, trust data, and Georg mentioned in the beginning, it's very difficult to walk further and achieve more reliable model and have less better probability. We should be adaptable, yeah, because as I mentioned already, it's developing so quickly. We started about ChatGPT 3, now it's ChatGPT 5, and it's a lot of differences. It's a huge jump between these two. And we have to be ready, and whatever you create on infrastructure and software, you should be ready what new model can come, and you should be ready to adapt it, not do it from the scratch. And I already mentioned about factual, what all data should be accurate, verified, and transparent. And of course, ethical, because without the ethical, we have to comply the rules, which standards, which are in your organization. And because time is very flying, and as a summary, if you started already using AI, I think you're already on the right way, because if we want it or not want it, it will come. It's coming, and we need to be ready for this. And sooner you will invest at least a bit time, at least to understanding where it's going and how you can use in your organization. It will be easier for you in future. And behind this always the people, yeah, because without the people and without team involvement, it's not possible really to achieve much. Which is why I also think about having some team, innovation team in organization with a special innovation unit. In our case, there is a team of people who is really dedicated and motivated. And I think this is key for the start and ongoing and success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alexander. Yeah, one last slide. Yeah. Very quick question from my side, because when you mentioned staff, I saw the smile of almost all my colleagues. And I have a question probably to all of you. Very quickly, how many people in your AI team? I know how number of the projects which you have and for how long, but really very quickly, for Alexander, starting from you.
Well, it's me, myself, and I. No, but jokes aside, we have one more. I have one more guy in my team, and I used to have two of the guys that were the winners of the hackathon team that joined.
So it was like three of
us, yeah. And the two of them, we parted our ways because they have to continue their studies. So, but for 1 year we were together. However, we have our vendors. You know, we can reach into the network of vendors, but definitely that's not enough for to be able to scale it. However, I see that let's say there is more and more decentralization, you know, of IT is going on. There are these, as you said, enthusiasts within the business units, and there are sometimes people who actually have then the applied knowledge behind it. And I think it will be basically about striking the balance between decentralization and governance between the business and IT in the long run.
It's actually, I see this kind of situation in many organizations. Alexander.
In CTBTO, we have also not so many, but as I said, there is no unit. As I can see on the slide, which is not available already, if it's possible to share, it's we have 5 people who submitted abstract for this presentation, and I encourage you to come. There is 2 groups. One is working more cloud, on-premises solutions. It's Evangelos, it's Yaroslav, it's Genero, and also group with Ch1 and Marco. Maybe we focus is more on the Azure, on the cloud solutions. But again, it's not, there is no explicit split. But as I said, counting on this, it's about 5. There is other people who is also working in AI, but as I said, these 5 people, you can see the abstract, and I encourage you to come and ask the question, details of the project. Thank you.
Rina?
Yes, so it is difficult to answer because our AI experts are not just in one team and unit. So of course the innovation team is also around 3 to 4 people, but we have AI experts spread across not just even in the division of information technology, where in all sections we have people with their respective specialization focused also on AI. But as Alexandra also mentioned, in the business, a lot of technical expertise and AI expertise can also be found there. So if we look at all expertise in the organization, it is difficult to say yes.
Georg, what about you?
Yes, so our team, we are a lab, part of the biomedical imaging and nuclear medicine department, and our lab is about 25 people who are focusing on machine learning, research, science, and development, mostly around imaging, but more also going now into different directions like sequencing data, other data that comes with the imaging data. But the big change in the last year was that all of the groups across medical university that are working on AI from fields like dermatology, pathology, surgery, we have basically joined together to form a center for AI in medicine in order to facilitate exchange and kind of bring people together because that's what everybody thought would benefit us. And these are now overall about 120 people at Medical University.
Thank you. Now, we should go to questions from audience. Do you have any questions to our panelists? Don't be shy. Raise your hand. I see a hand here. Okay, it was. Can you just briefly introduce yourself and to whom you're addressing the question?
Sure. My name is Scott Fertig. I work for Instrumental Software Technologies. We're a vendor to both multiple organizations, but also CTBTO as well as the IEA. Thank you to the panel. By my observation from the projects that were mentioned, they're almost all chatbot related. They're almost all document related. That's not true, obviously, in what was spoken about in the keynote. So my question really to the CTBTO is, so both to you, Yaroslav and Alexander, is what plans does the CTBTO have to integrate machine learning more directly into core mission of the CTBTO, the analysis of data that is being done in the IDC? That's my question.
So it was question, Alexander, do you want to take this one?
I would maybe start, yeah. As you know, we're already doing this some kind of stuff for NetVisa applications. We're doing from the history of some of the for station processing, but this session is more, and almost all our activity is not related to the data verification and products, yeah, because this session is more, I mean, for us it's more helping us to be more efficient from the documentation and testing. And I'm sure in the next sessions we will talk more about really how we can use artificial intelligence, including machine learning. And I think this will be session in maybe in 20 minutes. And with this, it will show and demonstrate how we can use the machine learning about that. Yeah. But of course, we're spending time, and yes, and it's a focus for us.
So right now we are more or less focusing on the tools and use AI to be more efficient in our like daily operation, daily work, but not with real data, verification data.
Yeah, just to confirm, not related to data and verification. Yaroslav is working on the more information which we can share with user, and yeah, most of the projects which are working with, like NetVisa, I think I'm sure you know about that, and you have several presentations available.
In my case, what I was demonstrating, we're using simply for exploring. It's not in production. It's like the pilot project for advanced search through the documents. Right now, we're exploring using AI for testing again, and potentially we can use for log monitoring. So nothing. Okay, another question? Yes, please.
Yeah, hi, Birger Steen from Norsar again. Let me just, I forgot to say this, Dr. Langs, that your presentation was fantastic, especially the fact that it focused 95% on impact and possibilities and didn't get bogged down in risks and biases and all the stuff that most of the European discussion is stuck in, as far as I'm concerned. But two things. I thought the last question was the most important question we can ask ourselves. I hope that next time we meet here, we are in the position to hold Dr. Lang's type of presentation as CTBTO, because that's where the focus really needs to be. But Alexander, you did ask for low-hanging fruits. And I think we have an incredibly low-hanging fruit sitting right in front of us, which is the whole document repository of the CTBTO as it relates to PrepCom and working groups and whatnot. Why are they not possible to interrogate with a simple co-pilot? It should be extremely simple to do. It would make probably writing of minutes and organizing the conference itself a lot easier. Most importantly, the delegates would show up, and it goes for S&T as well, much more prepared and better able to prioritize. So I give you that challenge that in the next 12 months, in the internal efficiency vein of things, we bring the conference and the internal workings of the CTBTO community into the 21st century.
Alexander, you?
Yes, we have a couple years between SET we could prepare, but we're already working on it. And if you're talking about expert communication system, it's on all documents. There was already some functionality available, and I'm sure during next months we will extend it and we'll try to integrate what is available for contact search, and it should help you to be prepared for all events, including S&T. Thank you.
Unfortunately, time is flying. Okay, maybe we can have one quick question. Yes, Alexandra.
Good morning. I'm Alexandru Toma. I'm from CTBTO. My question is for Dr. Lanz. I have two daughters who are MDs, and I know in a completely different country. And in the environment of MDs, there's generally a lot of resistance to this kind of new technology and new way of doing things. And the system is generally very heavy, especially a public system. I would like to know what is your experience and how does this work in your case, and how can you go over this resistance in a way to get people to be with you rather than against? Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, great question. So I think in what we have seen so far in healthcare and the adoption of AI, there is this initial kind of movement of replacing very specific individual processes with AI, like with machine learning algorithms, with things that tackle just very specific problems along the established workflow, along the established processes. And we see that sometimes there is benefit, but sometimes there is also a slowdown and an increase in effort. But we see that a lot of the benefit actually comes once the processes change. And we know that that takes time. So if a process of this neurosurgery changes in order to take profit of the fact that I can do that multiple times, that is already something where the process itself changes and you don't just replace one individual bit by an AI part. And I think because these changes in the workflows involve many disciplines, that takes time. I think what facilitates it is first that a lot of the newly kind of educated medical doctors, they are really very curious about it. So my feeling is that this time of a lot of, well, AI will never be relevant in medicine, they are kind of stopping, and people are really curious about where they can use AI in order to help them, in order to become better at diagnosis, in order to become better at treatment. So from just replacing individual bits to actually changing the workflow, I think that is something that has to happen in order to take a lot of benefit from it. And I think the second point is that it's not only about the relationship between doctors and the AI, but I think I see also a lot of relationships between different disciplines, right? Between imaging and laboratory medicine and pathology and molecular medicine. All of them starting to rearrange because the availability of this software and because of this technology. And suddenly, if you're able to, in imaging, provide something more quantitative, if you're able to determine, well, there is a relationship between what this patient looks like and the possible treatment response, that also rearranges this configuration of disciplines that are involved in the diagnosis and are involved in the treatment. So I think it takes time because of this rearrangement, but I think there is a lot of interest and willingness to do that, but realistically there is also, of course, time that it needs for institutions to rearrange.
Thank you, Georg. Unfortunately, time is flying and our session coming to the end. We have a few more questions, but we will send all of them to our panelists and we will try to answer them. Thank you very much for your time, for your attention, for your participation. Thank you to our panelists for excellent discussion. Thank you, Igor, for amazing presentation. And now our colleagues will continue same discussion on AI, and please stay in touch with us for the rest of the day on this very exciting topic. Thank you very much.